Good morning and welcome to the Mara Project. Mara Chua here and welcome back to another episode of my book blog segment called Baby Reviews Books, which is a tie-in with my book blog called Baby Reviews Books, Baby Blue Bookworm. So today we will be talking about another classic novel, which is, would I say it's a follow-up to Machiavelli's The Prince? Maybe it's something that inspired The Prince. Story time. When I was in 10th grade, I saw one of my old friends, read a book called The Art of War. I asked him what it was about, and he simply told me that it may be something that will help me in the future and recommended that I would read it. But my then 16-year-old self still did not dig into nonfiction, philosophy, or psychology books, so I was stubborn and never gave that book a chance until now. I actually miss my friend a lot, and we haven't been in contact since 2019. And he always read some of the coolest books during our earlier years in high school together. So hey, YS, if you are reading this post or if you can hear me through this video, it is me, your birthday twin. So we will be tackling a book called The Art of War by
Sun Tzu. Sun Tzu.
Sun Tzu. This is why I could not last even 5 minutes in my Chinese classes. In my last book shopping trip with Jerome, aka my best critic, if you're watching this, hello. The Art of War was one out of the 3 books I was able to score. Previously, we discussed Machiavelli's The Prince, so as we travel a bit further back in time, we shall now tackle another one of the greatest books of all time, The Art of War by Sun Tzu. It's funny how many things have an art of their own behind their creation and manipulation, something we don't always seem to recognize even in the present. While Machiavelli's book was a guide on how to rule a nation and impose fear into the minds of your subjects, Sun Tzu's book serves as a similar guide on strategic planning, deception, and proper negotiation that can be practiced not just in the battlefield. We're not also talking about literally, but also in the business world and perhaps even in your relationships. I'd say that Sun Tzu and Machiavelli are like the kings of gaslighting at this point, but can we blame them? In a time where social media was not a thing, we did not have terms such as gaslighting, but manipulation and planning. I'd like to think this really isn't the art of war, it just uses a battlefield as a metaphor, but it's more of the art of deception and the tactics your lazy, selfish boss never told you about. Sun Tzu was an ancient Chinese general, military strategist, and philosopher who is traditionally credited as the author of The Art of War, an influential work on military strategy and tactics. Although there is some debate about the historical accuracy of his existence and the exact period he lived in, it is generally accepted that he lived during the Eastern Zhou period, I'm pretty sure I butchered that name again, of ancient China, specifically around the 5th century BCE. Knowing your enemy is just another one of these strategic principles. To Sun Tzu, if you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. Nailed it. Once you have familiarized yourself with the enemy, you can learn to adapt to that enemy's ever-changing circumstances. There, you can learn to deceive them and create confusion, carrying out the element of surprise. We'd move on to tactical advice in which deception and maneuvering is applied in not always a battlefield but a workplace or really anywhere goes. Proper positioning and the effective use of terrain are vital. Sun Tzu discusses the advantages of high ground, the use of spice, and the importance of speed and decisiveness. If we're gonna be literal here, might as well lay out who stays in what position, who handles what role, etc. It's like a platform puzzle game wherein you need to plan the layout of where your character will walk, jump over, and how to reach the end of their assigned path. In fact, it's just so much like one of my old favorite beloved games, King Rabbit, the sponsor of today's... Okay, so here goes nothing. This is King Rabbit. I don't know if you can hear like the in-game sounds. Oh my gosh, okay. There you go. Okay, there you go. Oh my gosh, okay. There you go. Let's go. Okay, there you go. Okay. Don't die. Okay. Ooh, there you go. Oh my gosh, almost made it. Almost made it. Okay. Hush. I'm kidding. But this unique platform puzzler allows players to also build and manipulate their own levels for others to play and enjoy, to add obstacles and objects, to make each level more unique and challenging, while also collecting coins that will allow you to unlock a variety of fun goodies that you can customize your rabbit with or build new levels. It's an interesting strategy-based game that allows you to think before proceeding with moving your rabbit around. Like this puzzle game, Sun Tzu suggests that the best way to win is to subdue the enemy without fighting, and this is done through making use of resources efficiently. In King Rabbit, there's no actual enemy to avoid other than the Reaper Goats, at least that's what I call them, or the Angry Snowman. But some levels were designed by players so efficiently they made use of cool in-game mechanics like keys and switches, making the overall gameplay more enjoyable and even tricky at times. In real life, let's say you've been put in a group and one of the members happens to be the least efficient member, or even your arch nemesis. I've been there, don't worry. And in scenarios like these, it is important to still distribute work in ways that everyone gets an equal share, even your enemy, so as to not be obvious with how you handle tactics around them. Lastly, Sun Tzu discusses psychological warfare through leadership and exploiting weaknesses. How you lead your army or team yields good results as you learn to inspire those around you and establish camaraderie. There's also working against the enemy, secretly using their weaknesses to your advantage as a means to protect your own vulnerability. Little do we know, these key points can also be practiced in the workplace, as I had previously mentioned. As the daughter of a CEO and an aspiring business leader, specifically as I want to work in the fashion industry as I get older, I know when it comes to time to manage my own company, in order for us to prosper, we must practice good strategies, and I'd say the war could also be a metaphor for a company. Because who doesn't go through the emotional and mental equivalent of a war zone as well in the workplace? As Sun Tzu pointed out, know your enemy. In the business world, this also means knowing your competitors, and something I learned from my ABM classes years ago was to conduct my own SWOT analysis of the situation, your own company, yourself, or as the manager and CEO, and your competitors. In case you missed the memo, SWOT stands for strengths, opportunities, weaknesses, and threats. By understanding and recognizing the company you will be working at for, and the world around it, you will be able to devise proper business strategies. These strategies include long-term goals and plans, creating a mission and vision for your company. What does your company aim to do? Where do you see your company in the near or far future? Another important strategy I previously mentioned was adaptability. In a rapidly changing market, businesses must be flexible and adapt their strategies to new trends and consumer behaviors, much like how Sun Tzu, oh my gosh, I already butchered it. Sun Tzu advises adapting to changing circumstances in warfare. However, when a battlefield learns to make use of weapons and establish a bond between its soldiers and other team members, one thing that differs from warfare and business is for the latter, creating a brand. The art of creating a strong brand perception and managing public relations can be likened to Sun Tzu's emphasis on deception and appearance. Building a positive brand image while keeping competitors guessing can be beneficial. There's also the need to stand among your competitors, giving your consumers something other brands or companies can't have by highlighting unique selling propositions and creating a distinct brand identity. I remember all of these terms like SWOT, USP, vision and mission, all from my business, marketing, and management lessons. Included in a SWOT analysis would also be threats that include crisis management, whether it's sales going down, weak performance in the company's charts, or even your competitor moving several steps ahead of you. Sun Tzu's advice on being prepared and adaptable can guide businesses in managing crisis effectively. Developing contingency plans and being ready to pivot strategies are crucial in handling unexpected challenges. Another key factor is leadership. You can choose to make leadership your company's biggest strength, or perhaps a weakness. Qualities of a successful leader, wisdom, trustworthiness, humanness, courage, and discipline are essential traits for business leaders to inspire and guide their teams. Like a battlefield, you must lead your army to success. Any mishap or failure should not, however, mean the end of the world or your company or team. This allows for growth and changes, which Sun Tzu had discussed in adaptability. Through the art of deception, you can also choose to win your clients or customers over. By negotiating with them and forming partnerships, it's important to employ these psychological tactics, understanding the other party's needs and creating win-win situations that can enhance negotiation outcomes. It's free real estate. Through these newfound alliances, you can build your relationships and establish loyalty and dominance. But please, don't T-pose on your clients. Just as knowing the enemy is crucial in warfare, understanding customer needs, preferences, and behaviors is vital for building strong customer relationships. And don't forget to build and maintain trust through consistent and reliable service, like maintaining the morale of your troops. Since I had discussed Machiavelli in the previous entries, I noticed some similarities and contradictions in writing style through Sun Tzu's book, at least in terms of leadership and planning. Both of them make use of manipulation, while good old Mac used manipulation to evoke fear in the people, and Sun Tzu viewed manipulation as a strategy to gain the favor of others. While both authors tackled human nature in terms of behavior, Sun Tzu seemed to have seen human nature in a more positive light. Is that why there's a sun in his name? I'm sorry, I had to. While Mac was more distrusting and pessimistic, Mac also seemed more hardcore in terms of making use of unethical methods for political gain, while Sun Tzu was more of a pacifist in treating everyone humanly, even in warfare. Overall, these authors could be so similar yet so different at the same time. They're like polar opposite twins separated at birth. So reading Sun Tzu's work was definitely a breath of fresh air from the wildness and weirdness I had tackled in Machiavelli's book. I had a ton of fun going through these books, especially knowing how I may be able to apply these points in the future once I lead my fashion empire. Hey, a girl can dream. Was I a little too ambitious now? And that's way too far ahead. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed this book as much as I did. So this is going to be the second to the last entry I will be most likely writing before my hiatus in the next quarter of the year. Unless temptation ruins me again, you'll always know whenever I'm in the mood to write. So that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, be sure to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe to my channel if you want to continue supporting me. Your support is much appreciated. Or you can also check out my book blog post. As always, the link to this video will be available in the link in the description box below. So you guys can also check that out. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next vlog. This is Mara Chua of the Mara Project signing off. Peace. You know, the whole time I just realized I forgot to show the book, so here it is. As usual, it's like the College Classics edition. I can't believe I forgot to show it of all things. I am so sorry. I am running on 5 hours of sleep, and it's almost 8 a.m. as I film this, so my biggest apologies. So here is the book. This is a random product review, I guess. It is very thin, as you can see, and there's only there's only 13 chapters in total, but only less than 70 pages, I think. Checking it right now. There is 68 pages. I also really love how the chapters are really not chapters at all. They're just separation of topics, and they're usually separated in a number of paragraphs. So for example, we have paragraph 13, paragraph 14, 15, etc. So I'm just surprised that this is a really old book. It's in the 5th or 6th century. I already forgot what I said earlier, but yeah, 6th century. See over here. So this is a very thin book, but otherwise it was a good book. So thank you to my old friend for recommending it to me, and that is all I have today. Bye.